try not to squint my eyes. I feel like it's really bright, and it doesn't look bright in this video, but welcome back to the Empty Living Blog. This is Beyond Film School. And before, I know I've been talking about these survival tips that I have to be in the industry, you know, not just for PAs or ADs or, I mean, basically anybody that works in the industry, or probably any industry for that matter, because this is what I've heard. But I wanted to just do a quick rant. I totally forgot about this thing that happened to me this summer. On my last video that I just did, I talked about how I'm back at, you know, union PA gigs, right? So, and that's not to say that I totally gave up on AD stuff. So I have 2 short films happening in the next month and a half. So there's a bit of prep that has to happen. One's a 3-day and one's a 5-day short. So yeah, I have that. So I haven't completely given up in like the indie world, but there's this thing that happened to me when I think it was supposed to shoot the first week of September. It was a 3-day shoot. I can't really get into the story. I mean, it was okay. I wasn't that impressed, but you know, short film, whatever. And you know, I was recommended to this, you know, group of, you know, female filmmakers, and I was like, great, they're great, blah, blah, blah. And I did all the prep work, did the schedule, did the breakdown, you know, the call sheets even. I even did the freaking call sheets prior to, because I knew I was going to be on set. This is the time that I started getting back on set in the union world, and I was very transparent. And you know, I was on set the one day, I took an additional day, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I mean, all my prep work was done. So I was like, you know, I told them, hey, I'm going to be on set, just so you know, hopefully, you know, I'll be back by 7, you know. So what happens to me? My phone dies, and I don't have my extra battery. That dies, and then I have no way of communicating. And you know, I told them the day before, I said, any corrections you have for the call sheet, please call me by noon, because that's my lunch, and I know I'll be able to make the changes at noon. Because I knew the show, I was on it for a couple days, I knew I'd be like doing Firewatch or some crazy shit to where I would have time to do changes on the call sheet. I'm gonna have my computer with me, whatever. I was prepared to make changes. So no one called me, no emails were sent to me, whatever. So I'm like, well, maybe they don't have any changes, which they had to give me all this information to fill in, because they wanted all the numbers and emails of everyone that was related crew-wise and cast-wise on the call sheet. So there was a lot of information to be needed, and I didn't have it. I needed them to send it to me. So I knew something was up, and I was like, you know, why isn't anyone getting back to me, whatever. So I get to my car, I charge my phone, turn my phone on, and the lady's like, we're replacing you. No explanation, no nothing, whatever. And I was like, and we were supposed to be shooting the next day. And I'm like, what the F? Like, so I call her up and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, this just isn't a good fit. I'm like, listen, you B. Well, basically we had it out. And I told her, I was like, I told you about how I was on set. I told you to send me the changes before noon. You didn't get back to me, you know, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I just wanted to wait for that train to go by. So we're on the phone, whatever, we're, you know, purse comes shoves, whatever. I was like, F this, you're unprofessional, I'm spreading the word, this is unfair, you don't do this to people, whatever, because I did all their prep work, they took my schedule, they took my call sheets, they took my paperwork, and they proceeded to do the shoot. And I come to find out later that they replaced me with one of their actor friends as the first AD, which I was like, what the F? So when I get home, I check my emails because my phone's not updating, and I have like 15 emails from this woman about changes at like 6:45 at night. And none of this could have happened by the deadline, and it was just utterly ridiculous. The whole situation, needless to say, I was very pissed off, and I was like, man, F the indie world, I just gotta stay focused and stay in the union world. And that kind of like stirred me off the indie world for a bit.